Previously on the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. Eight plus the 7 for SmackDown. That makes 15 teams. That's not a bad division. So Pretty Deadly, I think, will fit just right in. Another guy who we're all expecting big things for is Grayson Waller. He had a brief moment on the main roster with his quick little feud with AJ Styles. That was just to get more eyes onto NXT, but Grayson Waller is another guy that I'm not worried about. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is not Saturday. It is actually Sunday, May 21st, and you kind of know what that means. It's time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, being greedy, winning all of the championships, Jeremy Pierce. Welcome, one and all. I greatly, as always, appreciate it. But first things first, you can check me out on the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, and the 215 on Twitter. And as always, donations are greatly appreciated on Coffee and Patreon. But for today's show, seeing as how this Saturday we have Night of Champions, I thought it'd be prudent and we could take a look back at the World Heavyweight Championships time in the WWE, seeing as how we have the finals of the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament. We kind of know who's going to win. And we'll dive into that a little bit later. But we'll take a look back at the big gold belt and its time in the WWE, Triple H's reign of terror, some of the best matches, some of the worst matches, and just, how it all came to be. But for now, you all know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. All right. Here we are. And let's just dive right into the news. If you all been living under a rock, let me inform you, AEW Collision has officially been announced. And if you look at the poster for the show, it's got the House of Black on it, MJF, Orange Cassidy, FTR, Andrade, Miro, Thunder Rosa. So you're kind of getting Powerhouse Hobbs. You're kind of getting the sense of who's going to be really featured on the show. And I'm excited. It's going to be Saturdays at 8 o'clock on TNT. I'm praying and hoping this does well. And since this is another show I have to cover, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to split the High Risk Wrestling Podcast into 2 different shows. So get ready for the High Risk Wrestling Recap, and then the High Risk Wrestling Podcast will be reworked into the same show, but some other things are going to be added since we're going to lose a good 10-15 minutes because of the weekend reviews being moved. But Collision is coming. The poster really plays on the old WCW Nitro look, and tapings. Here's how they will be handled. Dynamite and Rampage will be taped together. Collision and Ring of Honor will be taped together. I don't know how I feel about Ring of Honor being shoehorned into the Collision tapings, but we'll see how that goes. And the roster are pretty much content with Dark and Dark Elevation being taken away, so you can have some of that extra time to get Dynamite, to get Collision, to get Rampage up and up. The new name for the WWE and the UFC's merger, they will be called the TKO Group Holdings. So there you go. That makes sense. I mean, it's the 2 biggest names in professional wrestling and mixed martial arts coming together. TKO just makes sense. The WWE are pretty happy. They're pretty thrilled with news coming out that Seth Rollins is in the new Captain America movie, Captain America New World Order, and he is playing a member of the Serpent Society. It's so funny, we heard all of these rumors about Becky Lynch being in an MCU movie, and it's her husband that gets the first the first row. CM Punk, and we're diving into this part of the news, reportedly wanted FTR and Andrade for a Collision for his debut, which makes sense. And like I said, the people on the roster that they'll be kind of be featured on Collision are people that have either been away or just need a little bit more of a bump. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I think what you can do with Collision is you can keep switching the championship. So if you're going to have, the World Championship sometimes featured on Dynamite, then make, he can go back and forth. And then, he can be featured on Collision, but you can keep, the TNT title on Collision and the International Championship on Dynamite. Because let's be real, Orange Cassidy has elevated the International Championship to no end. And CM Punk, AEW are at odds once again before his expected return. It's a bunch of dumb stuff going down with him and the hiring of Ace Steel. Some didn't want Ace Steel there, and that Steel wouldn't be working backstage, but Ace Steel did get hired. And now Punk unloaded on a story coming straight at Brian Alvarez. And Brian Alvarez didn't back down, not at all. So already CM Punk is causing issues, and AEW stars don't understand why Punk's getting another chance. It's simple: money. Vince McMahon has been known to put his ego aside for money. That's why CM Punk is coming back. And some really, really good news: Abaddon has made her return. She's coming back from injury. She wrestled on, this past week's the bonus match prior to Dynamite. She teamed up with Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue, which is a very, very odd pairing. They took on Emi Sakura, Marina Shafir, and Nyla Rose. And I think with the addition of Collision, we get to see more of the women feature, which will always, always, always make me happy. And some really sad news if you haven't heard: one of the legends, one of the all-time greats, one of the GOATs, superstar Billy Graham has passed away at the age of 79. His influence cannot, I repeat, cannot be understated. All you have to do is look at Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. Laredo Kid has declared that he is a free agent. He has been most recently associated with Impact Wrestling, and it'll be exciting to see where he's going to go. AEW, they do have a backup venue in mind for Collision. If it's supposed to be at the United Center in Chicago. If they can't get that booked, if there's some issues with CM Punk, they'll just go to Daly's place. It's kind of like their home base, home turf. Over on the injury news, Isaiah Cassidy confirms his injury ahead of Double or Nothing, his match. He's got, let me see, he's got a neck injury. So he tweeted of him in a neck brace. We'll see. The match might be in jeopardy. If they can't use Isaiah Cassidy, they can just use Hook. Andrade is expected to make his in-ring return at some point as he is injured. He could be ready for Collision, but he's still healing up from, I believe he had a neck. It was either a neck injury or a pec injury. He tore his pec in late November, and that takes time. Over on the ratings, Rampage from last week, the early Saturday show, they pulled in 280,000 viewers, which isn't bad. It was one of those rare occasions. They'll be back. I think with the addition of Collision might help. Raw this past week, they pulled in 1.71 million viewers with a 0.58 in the 18 to 49 demo. That is down a little bit in the viewership, but up in the demographic from the previous week. Dynamite this past week pulled in 814,000 with a 0.28 in the 18 to 49 demo. That is both down in the viewership and the demo from the previous week. And SmackDown finally pulled in 2.04 million viewers with a 0.49 in the 18 to 49 demo. That's about right what they did with the viewership, but a little bit down in the demographic, but it's okay. SmackDown is just chugging along. But that is the news, and we shall be right back. All right, you know what it is. We go do our week in review. Let's start with Monday Night Raw. And listen, everybody wants the tag team champions. KO and Sami, they got challengers coming from all sides. So they open up the show and says, listen, Roman is greedy. He will not get the tag team championships. In the Judgment, they come out, call their shot, well, then they attack. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated The Miz. Liv Morgan is injured in the tag team title match. They were supposed to have her and Raquel defending against Chelsea and Sonya. Is off. We'll dive more into that this Friday. We have a couple of Seth Rollins pre-tape interviews kind of building him up for the World Heavyweight Championship match, talking about his history in NXT with the Shield, and it ends with Corey Graves asking him a question about Roman Reigns. We'll get that answer next week. Imperium watched the IC #1 contender battle royal. Ali won, but there were definitely some stories in here. We got stories with Bronson Reed. We're starting up a feud between JD McDonough and Dolph Ziggler, because when you get caught up to the main roster, your first feud is always going to be with Dolph Ziggler. And even though Ali won, Matt Riddle is the clearly next challenger for Gunther. We had a Becky Lynch promo saying she is not done with Trish. They'll have a contract signing next week. Then they'll fight at Night of Champions. Rhea warns Natalya. Dominic Mysterio defeated Xavier Woods again with a little bit of help from Mommy. Indus debuted and won the squash match, and Jinder Mahal got on commentary after the match and said, yo, this is their show. Gunther takes umbrage with KO and Sami of how they treated Imperium next week, so they'll fight next week. Cody Rhodes had an in-ring segment promo telling Brock Lesnar, even though you're the next best thing, you're just next and you need to step aside. Raquel defeated Chelsea Green. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey came back, kicked her a nice powerful sidekick, and they say they're coming for the tag team championships. Looks like Ronda is healthy and I can finally get my wish. And in the main event, Judgment Day defeated KO and Sami with a little bit of help from Imperium. And Paul Heyman and the Judgment Day and Imperium all stand tall. It looks like Paul Heyman made a little bit of deal with Imperium. Raw gets a fist over on Dynamite. We had a cap building towards Double or Nothing continues. Wardlow comes out and says he wants a piece of Christian. Christian and Luchasaurus come out. He talks with Smack and then chokeslam him through a ladder. The TNT Championship will be defended at Double or Nothing between Christian and Wardlow in a ladder match. Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy defeated Big Bill and Lee Moriarty. The BCC attacked the Young Bucks in the parking lot as they were arriving to the arena. Jay Lethal and his crew take out FTR with an assist from Karen Jarrett. This started out with them coming out. FTR attacked first, pushing Satnam Singh off the stage, and he went through a couple tables. But Karen Jarrett turned the tide because of that damn numbers game. The Outcast defeated Sheeta and Britt. This was supposed to be a 6-woman tag, but Jamie Hayter is injured. Roderick Strong defeated Chris Jericho in a Falls Count Anywhere match, and this was just wild, and ended with them fighting outside. I remember Adam Cole is banned from the building, so that's why they ended up fighting outside. Adam Cole helped Roderick Strong win the match. Jack Perry defeated Roosh. This was a brutal match. Roosh is just really good. Y'all, the Pillars minus MJF makes the save for everybody. And they all say they don't want MJF to win the championship. Jay White defeated Ricky Starks by DQ, so this feud is far from over. Ricky just lost his cool and was like, screw it. Don Callis, main event segment, says he made Kenny Omega. Everything that Kenny Omega has is because of Don Callis. So Kenny comes out, fights off security until the BCC show up, and then the Young Bucks show up, and then Hangman Page returns with an eye patch. It's like an Avengers moment. Kenny's is using the trash can lid like Captain America's shield. They fight them off, and we'll be getting Anarchy in the arena at Double or Nothing. Dynamite gets a thumb up. This was just a really good show. Not a great show, but a really good show. Over on Impact, Trey Miguel defeated the Rado Kid, and Trey holds the show hostage until Chris Sabin comes out and challenges him for an X Division title match at Under Siege. Trinity calls out Giselle Shaw. Rich Swann and Sami Callihan are coming for the design. Jason Haas defeated Ace Austin. Trinity defeated Kylan King in her debut match, and this was good. Kylan King was a good opponent to have for Trinity. The Coven defeated Coven and Jessica have some words with each other, so they're far from done. Jody Threat won a squash match. Dirty Dango and Joe Hendry get into it after Dango accuses Joe Hendry, of attacking Santino. And in the main event, Alex Shelley, Jonathan Gresham, and Yuya Uemura defeated Moose, Cass, and Eddie Edwards. Over on Ring of Honor, Ray Phoenix defeated Gringo Loco. Will Inarigo defeats Maddie Rinkowski. The Iron Savages defeated Pretty Peter Avalon and Ryan Nemeth. Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal defeated Cole Carter and Zach Clayton. Lady Frost defeated Miranda Elise. Vincent and Dutch want Stu Grayson, so keep your eyes on that. Will he turn his back on the Dark Order? Angelico and Serpentico want a squash. Angelico and Serpentico want a match. Zack Sabre Jr. retains the New Japan Pro Wrestling TV Championship against AR Fox. And then Samoa Joe comes out and says he wants Zack's TV Championship until Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels comes out and says that they want both of their championships. So we're going to get a tag match soon. Interesting, and put some story in Ring of Honor. The Gates of Agony defeated Dalton Castle and a boy. The Workhorsemen and Shane Taylor won a squash match. Mercedes Martinez returned and defeated Ashley D'Amboise. Both women are great here. We know Mercedes Martinez is just the best. She really is. And in the main event, Darius Martin and Action Andretti defeated the Kingdom in a match without honor. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. And then he shook hands finally after the match to earn each other's honor. Over on SmackDown, we're still icing out the Usos. So Roman and Solo are out. Roman says he wants the tag team titles. They're going to take it from KO and Sami. KO and Sami comes out and he tells us, Roman, you're not going to get this. You're greedy. All right? And listen, you're not better than us and you're not better than the Usos. And that, you can tell that irked his soul. The Usos attack, and that upset Roman because Roman was like, yo, this wasn't the plan. I had something to say and you ruined that. Listen to, yo. And then as he's leaving, he accidentally bumps into Solo and Solo looks at him like, bro, what? And Roman just walks like, oh my God. Oh, so good. The implosion. I don't know how they're just drawing out the storyline. It's so great. Pretty Deadly debuted and defeated the Brawling Brutes. Asuka defeated Zelina Vega, and Bianca makes the save after the match and avoided the miss. The Grayson and Waller effect with AJ. You know, they got a little bit of heat with each other. This was just to build up to the World Championship match at Night of Champions. The Street Profits defeated LA Knight and Rick Boogs, and then Knight attacked Rick Boogs after the match. Cameron Grimes was going to the moon. Karrion Kross and the Cars to choose AJ, so yay. I'm excited for this. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn debuted, finally, and defeated a team that they kind of know in NXT. Yulisa Leon and Valentina Feroz. Raquel Gonzalez has to relinquish the tag team championships because of Liv's injury, but she gets a partner of her choosing next week, and then that partner will also be in a Fatal 4-Way match in 2 weeks on Raw, where the tag team titles will be on the line. Why did Raquel have to relinquish the championships if she was just going to get a new partner? Huh? But the Fatal 4-Way, I believe, will be Raquel and her new partner, Ronda and Shayna, Chelsea and Sonya, and I think Casey and Kaden. Sheamus bro kicks Austin Theory, so it looks like that's the next feud for the United States Championship. Paul Heyman tells the Usos that Roman Reigns won't be out there to help him because, it's just the LWO. And then the LWO defeated the Usos with the help and an assist from Santos, with the help from KO and Sami, and that irked Roman. This is just good. This is just good stuff. Over on Rampage, so Rampage, we have two Rampages. We got the early show, then we got yesterday's Friday show. So from 2 weeks ago, we got the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn defeating the Butcher, Blade, and Kip Sabian, which is fine. I just wish Butcher, Blade, and Kip would get more wins. I really like them. Tony Storm defeated Allison Kay. I'm glad this wasn't a squash match because Allison Kay is very well respected in this business, in this industry, and is well known, which is really good. The Outcast attacked her after the match. The Guns are helping Ethan Page, and he told us the Hardys. Kyle Fletcher defeated Action Andretti, and Brian Cage and Swerve Strickland defeated the Dark Order. And then Friday's show, the Blackpool Combat Club defeated the Best Friends in Bandito. This was good. This episode of Rampage is what Rampage really should be. Jade won back-to-back squash matches, advancing to 59-0. A third woman comes out, and she's taken out by Taya Valkyrie. Taya hits Jade with the Road to Valhalla, and they'll be fighting at Double or Nothing. Finally, Question is, will Jay get to 60-0? The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn defeated the Varsity Athletes. We had QTV. Just talking about Collision and Powerhouse Hobbs. I love QTV. Ethan Page and the Guns attacked the Hardys and Isaiah Cassidy. Ethan Page said, Isaiah Cassidy, I love you. We could have been the main event. Hilarious. Adam Cole and Chris Jericho will have to be separated as they are now will fight at Double or Nothing. And in an unsanctioned match, and Dustin Rhodes defeated Bishop Khan until the Mogul Embassy after the match laid out everybody, including Keith Lee, as Brian Cage F5'd Keith Lee onto a chair. As for our matches of the week from Monday Night Raw, man, gotta go with the Judgment Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It's really good match. From NXT, the Creed Brothers versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. I'm calling them the Grizzled Young Veterans. I am not calling them the Dyad. They are just biding their time until they lead. From Dynamite, Roderick Strong versus Chris Jericho in a Falls Count Anywhere match. From Impact, Alex Shelley, Jonathan Gresham, and Uemura versus Moose Cass and Eddie Edwards. From Ring of Honor, Ray Phoenix versus Gringo Loco. I definitely suggest checking out that match. And from SmackDown, the LWO versus the Usos. Do we have a match from Rampage? If I go back and look at all the matches that we had on Rampage, it's like, I don't know if this is the first time that we could have a match from, you know what, just thinking about what we got on Rampage these last 2 weeks, I'll go with the BCC versus the Best Friend. This was also good. So we have at least one match from every single show this week. Wow. Yeah, it was a good week of wrestling. We'll see how this week goes. In our star of the week, can I just give it to a whole company? I'm gonna give it to AEW. I mean, we're building towards Double or Nothing. Have the announcement of Collision. It's good. It's good stuff, man. And I'm hoping Collision does well. But that's the week in review, and we shall be right back. The big gold belt. The World Heavyweight Championship. This Saturday at Night of Champions, the WWE will be crowning a new World Heavyweight Champion. This World Championship, will be exclusive to Monday Night Raw, and is essentially, the look of the belt is the big gold belt with a big ass WWE insignia slapped on the middle of it, because it just has to be that way. I think it kind of ruins the championship, but I digress. So the finals will be Seth Rollins from Monday Night Raw taking on AJ Styles from Friday Night SmackDown. The match will be a banger. I also expect this match to close the show. It has to close the show. I don't understand that Roman Reigns is on the show, but this match has to close the show. You're crowning a new world champion. The only thing that gets confusing is, Roman Reigns is still carrying around 2 world championships. They haven't unified them. They haven't gotten rid of what you think they would do would be the Universal Championship. They haven't done that. So the WWE now has 3 world championships on their main roster. It's weird. It's weird. Exclusive to SmackDown, but now we have 3. So it's it's odd. It's odd to say the least. So I don't, and at some point they have to get rid of it, right? What I believe is going to happen. Here's what I believe is going to happen. Roman Reigns is going to reach 1,000 days as champion. The championship was brought in 2016. Roman Reigns is going to reach 1,000 days as champion, and then they're going to get rid of the Universal Championship. Because when he won the WWE Championship from Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, it was billed as a unification match, and then they did unify the championships. So that's ultimately what I believe will happen. That they're going to let Roman reach 1,000 days as Universal Champion, and then they're going to get rid of the belt. Now, we wouldn't have this issue of having 3 world champions on the main roster if they just had let Cody Rhodes defeat Roman at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. That's it. The Universal Championship didn't even have to be on the line. You could just say, yo, Roman's defending the WWE Championship at WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes. Cody wins that. The WWE Champion is now on Raw. The Universal Championship is now on SmackDown. Period. It's not hard, and I hate when they book themselves into a corner like this. It's not fun, and it's not pretty. Like, they go against common sense. They just do. And now they've backed themselves into a corner. So here we have the World Heavyweight Championship, the big gold belt. Essentially, it is coming back. And I thought it'd be prudent. I thought we could take a look back at the old World Heavyweight Championship and its just importance in the WWE and how it really came to be. So, when we had the brand splits in 2002, that's how long the brand split's been going on. Brock Lesnar had the Undisputed Championship over on SmackDown. Raw was without a world champion. So, Eric Bischoff, who was the general manager of Monday Night Raw, gave Triple H the world championship. Now, I'm that I didn't have a problem with. It's Triple H. His star power was pretty good at that point. But to just gift the championship to Triple H, and Triple H's first reign only lasted 2 months because he lost the championship in the Elimination Chamber. We'll get to that. But it was the reign after getting it back where we got the much maligned reign of terror of Triple H. Yes, folks. You know it. I know it. Nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing great came from it because we had some good times there. We had some bad times there. But Triple H's reign of terror was a thing. It's very much was a thing. And the first time it was defended, not really defended, but its true defense was in the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber match. The first Elimination Chamber match, actually, and it was put on the line against Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, Kane, Rob Van Dam, and Booker T. And it was a fun fun time. It was a really good match to say the least. That's when the chamber really meant something. And this was Shawn Michaels' only world championship reign when he came back from injury. His only one, and he only held the championship for 1 month. So let that sink in there, folks. Batista had the longest reign ever as world heavyweight champion. And remember, he defeated Triple H for the championship at WrestleMania. This was one of the changing of the guards when he and John Cena were coming on the up and up. It was also the first time the World Heavyweight Championship, a World Championship, changed hands in the Hell in a Cell match when The Undertaker defeated CM Punk for the championship. And Randy Orton actually has the most reigns as most records as world champion, while Randy Orton has the most reigns as Edge has the most reigns as the World Heavyweight Championship. He kind of became synonymous with that over the WWE Championship. But let's dive into Triple H's reign of terror. And it all started when he was just given the world championship. We talked about this. It was just handed to him. And how is that fair? How does just being gifted a world championship work? It's just not. It's not cool. But Triple H was on top. He was the king, and yeah, it's not his reign isn't looked upon with much joy. It was the cornerstone, kind of the backbone of Evolution, when they ended up winning all of the gold on Monday Night Raw. Triple H world champion, Randy Orton Intercontinental champion, and Ric Flair and Batista as the Raw World Tag Team champions. And it worked. And they thrived. They thrived because of it. And during Triple H's reign of terror, someone always suffered. Someone always had to lose when they should have won. One aspect is Rob Van Dam. In 2002, Rob Van Dam was as big as his face as you can get. And the fan support, the momentum was behind him, but he lost. RVD was a top draw. He was a top face. Unforgiven 2002, and he defeated him with the help of Ric Flair. Triple H defeated RVD. And Triple H's dominance, being on top of the Reign of Terror, hurt RVD's career. And RVD didn't get a world championship until 4 years later. And Triple H beat everybody for that championship. He retained against so many people that it almost became an albatross. Like, he defeated RVD, he defeated Booker T, he defeated Benoit, he defeated Batista, he defeated Randy Orton, and Randy Orton's first world title reign wasn't nothing. Held the belt for, I believe, 1 month. Triple H got it back. Same thing what happened to Shawn Michaels. And we go back and look at this, it's like, okay, I can kind of see why you won there. I can kind of see why you lost there. Triple H at that time had a groin injury, so he started wearing like the short biker shorts, and it was just weird. I remember that he defeated so many WCW challenges. I remember when Scott Steiner came in and Goldberg came in and Kevin Nash came in. He beat all of them. Triple H winning during this Reign of Terror caused Kane to unmask We know how that turned out. But it finally came to an end when Batista defeated him at WrestleMania. When we compare Reign of Terrors, we have Triple H's. Is Roman's right now really a Reign of Terror? I don't know. We have John Cena's, Hulk Hogan. We have probably the only one that's ever really comparable to Triple H's is Jeff Jarrett in his reign with the TNA and the World TNA NWA Championship, because he was beating everybody left and right. And like Triple H's reign in terror started because of a bad face. Remember when he came in from injury, defeating Chris Jericho in the main event of WrestleMania 18 for the WWE Championship and the World Championship, the Undisputed Championship. That sucked. His face turn sucked. And Triple H has shown that he can be a good face. This was the one time it didn't work. He beat Goldberg multiple times. He beat Goldberg 3 times. He ended up working with Snitsky at one point, and he was in every World Championship match during the time of WrestleMania. Like, and he forced Shawn Michaels 8 times with that championship on the line. And at one point they got rid of the Intercontinental Championship. He defeated Kane and they unified those 2 championships. Why? Who knows? Who knows? I mean, there was good. Like, it brought prestige to the championship. It made Batista a main eventer. It showed that some of his opponents really weren't up to par. He had good to great matches with Shawn Michaels, and it gave us Evolution. But the bad, the bad, predictable losses, predictable wins. His work rate just went down. We got Katie Vick during this time. Triple H was always the focus, even when he wasn't the champion. And lastly, he buried so many superstars that we know the most egregious one. Booker T, WrestleMania 19. Yeah, we know what happened. This was Booker T's time. This was Booker T's time, and Booker T had to win this match. It'd be a good long while until Booker T won that championship, won a world championship. And think about this, everybody. Booker T only has 1 world championship reign in his WWE career. That's absurd. That doesn't make sense to me. That Booker T has 1 world championship reign. And for a time, the Big Gold Belt was on the same level as the WWE Championship, because Triple H brought that prestige to it, and that worked. Triple H, Goldberg, Shawn Michaels, these were high-profile names. Raised the profile of Batista, raised the profile of Randy Orton. And then something changed. When the title moved over to SmackDown, and the WWE Championship moved over to Raw, the world title just became like the bona fide, let's test out you as world champion championship. Mark Henry, Jack Swagger, Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, Big Show. And it just wasn't as important anymore until it got retired, until it was unified between Orton and Cena in a ladder match. How many ladder matches has John Cena been in, actually? So in 2013, they had unified the championship, and this was the point where WWE wanted to push their logo, and that's why we have every championship looking generic. Just generic. So I'm happy that the Big Gold Belt is back. And it had some great matches. So let's look according to one Dave Meltzer, who is usually on the money when it comes to these championship matches. Here are Dave Meltzer's 10 best World Championship matches. So we have Jeff Hardy, CM Punk, SummerSlam 2009, and this was a really good match. It was more about the storytelling, with CM Punk as the heel, Jeff Hardy as the face, and after we got through that really ugly middle stretch, putting the championship on CM Punk really helped. Over the Limit, remember that pay-per-view, 2011, 4.25 stars. Randy Orton versus Christian, and this was Christian's one more match feud, because Over the Limit is a really bad show. Like, it was oh Lord, let's go side tangent. Over the Limit 2011. Let's take a look at this card real quick. We had on the pre-show, it was a dark match, I'm sorry, Daniel Bryan defeating Drew McIntyre by submission. The opening match on the card was Rey Mysterio versus R-Truth. R-Truth won it. Ezekiel Jackson defeated Wade by DQ, IC Championship. Sin Cara defeated Chavo. Big Show and Kane defeated the New Nexus, retaining the WWE Tag Team Championships. Brie Bella defeated Kelly retaining the Divas Championship. Randy Orton defeated Christian, retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. Jerry Lawler defeated Michael Cole in a Kiss My Foot match. And John Cena defeated The Miz in an I Quit match, retaining the WWE Championship. It's not a good show. Number 8, 2009, Extreme Rules, Edge versus Jeff Hardy. Like, come on. Terrific. Edge, Jeff Hardy, Extreme Rules, ladders, chairs, tables. Oh my, World Heavyweight Championship. This is when the championship started really becoming great. When SmackDown got their hands on it, after Sheamus, after Jack Swagger, after I don't want to talk down Mark Henry's World Championship because I love the House of Pain. So excluding Mark Henry, but Alberto Del Rio, Edge and Jeff Hardy just fighting for the championship on SmackDown. Then we had the Elimination Chamber and Survivor Series 2002, the one that Shawn Michaels won in his only World Championship reign. Extreme Rules 2011, Christian versus Alberto Del Rio. Extreme Rules shows up a lot. WrestleMania 24, Edge and The Undertaker, streak on the line. Edge was just on a roll as World Championship, and Taker got it here. Rock Jericho 2001, No Mercy. Remember this? Jericho defeating 2 stars, The Rock, Chris Jericho, one night. John Cena, Edge, Backlash 2009. Batista, Triple H, Avengers. Triple H trying to get the championship back from Batista in the number 1 match according to one Dave Meltzer. Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, No Mercy 08. Yes. These two had magic together. So now, as we look forward to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship this Saturday, Night of Champions, AJ Styles, Seth freaking Rollins. As much as I love AJ, I don't expect AJ Styles to win this match. I just don't, and I'm sorry to say that. That sucks. The match is going to be fantastic. So now the real question is, what do we do? Because Roman's carrying 2 world titles, and Seth will be world champion. The championship has to be elevated on Raw, and Triple H is in charge, so he's the one that's most closely associated with it, followed by, I would probably say, Edge and Batista. What may come of it? What may happen? I don't know, but I'm excited because Raw needs a world champion. Again, this could have been avoided just by having Cody beat Roman at WrestleMania, but I digress. That is our show, ladies and germs. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I do. Next week, or this Saturday, the Night of Champions recap. I believe my schedule is a little, let me see something real quick. Let me see what I had scheduled for this Saturday. This Saturday is the 27th on the schedule. I had our Double or Nothing preview. I think we'll go with that. I think we'll go with the Double or Nothing preview this Saturday. We'll do our Night of Champions recap Sunday, and then do what just happened after Double or Nothing. So yeah, that's what we'll go with. Yeah, that's what we'll go with, and we'll just do we'll do a quick what just happens after Night of Champions. So this Saturday, be ready for Night of Champions recap, what just happened, and be ready for our Double or Nothing preview. As always, check out the socials, Charismatic Creations, or on Facebook, Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, the 215 on Twitter, and of course, please don't forget donations. I always really appreciate it. Coffee and Patreon, and don't forget to check out my newest movie review, which is Fast 10. That movie is on drugs. Yeah, and as always, Zylee, where you been at? Isla Dawn, Shotzi Blackheart, Wendy Chu, Bailey, and Gigi Dolan.